Welcome back to Rowaninski City. Yes, we've got something different. It's now Rowaninski City, not a town, because it's going to be too big. So let's make this a city, as this is also cities, Skylines. So I'm going to make new industrial zones, because the one I did in the previous episode was, to be perfectly honest, atrocious. It wasn't zoned, it wasn't growing as I wanted to do. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a new residential area in, because I am in desperate need of residential areas based on the demands. I'm going to pop a roundabout at the beginning of that main road, and I'm going to put a roundabout at the other end. And as you can see from the resource monitor, there's not a lot of resources there, so it's a good place to put a residential zone in. So let me just create this zone up. Now I am going to be using the Asymmetrical Roads, because I just thought, well, there's a lot of traffic turning to the right and to the left, and having those filter lanes would look quite good, and I'm hoping will improve traffic flow. Anyway, we shall see if that does actually work. As you can see, I am upgrading the roads to have the asymmetrical road format, which is 3 lanes in one way, 2 lanes in the other, with the middle lane being the turning lane. So I've decided to zone this area. So it's going to be one of those areas which is self-sufficient, so in theory reduces the electrical and water and waste requirements of that area. So I've added a little commercial zone to the residential area, just so that people can go to the local shops, and I've added a park. And this time I've decided I'm going to give it a bit of additional detail. So I'm creating a couple of paths down the edge, and I think I'm going to add some fences. to give it a little bit of extra pizzazz, paths. I'm going to add a few trees down the sides just to block out the road noise for those in the park. Let's have a look how this new residential zone is progressing. As I'm going to be building a few parks in this city, I've decided to add a park maintenance building somewhere. So I'm going to stick it over in my original kind of area, which was to do with the industry, and there was a little bit of a shopping mall. So it has got to travel a little bit, but I don't think the positioning of it is particularly important, apart from the noise element for residential areas. It's a really good idea to add some decorative elements to the roundabouts, so something in the centre, maybe some lights, trees, planting. I'm not very good at that kind of creative element for the actual roundabouts, but here I'm giving it a shot, so hopefully it will look a little bit more beautiful. It is important to remember to add the traffic management, otherwise the roundabouts will get congested because everything goes on, everything tries going round and there's no giveaways. So I've made those modifications. I also want to turn off a lot of the stuff to do with the crossings. Crossings on junctions near roundabouts is going to cause delays. So I'm going to put some pedestrian bridges, which is one of the assets from the workshop. And here I'm positioning it on the roundabout, and I want to see if the pedestrians will use that rather than using the crossings, although I have disabled the crossings on the roundabout because it is a stupid idea. You can see here that I'm just checking that the nodes have all got the crossing elements disabled, which they have. As the district is growing, I've decided to add the pedestrian crossings also on the second roundabout. That makes a lot of sense, otherwise you're going to get congestion at that roundabout, or as it would happen, I've always turned off the crossings. How would pedestrians get from one area to the other? So I want to create a new industrial area. It's going to be farming because you can see there's a lot of fertile land in this area. So I'm going to draw up a basic industrial grid and place a farming building in there. I make a bit of a boo-boo here. I'm zoning it with the standard zone, which would mean that I could create a industry zone at this point if I wanted to of a certain category, but actually I need to create a industry zone. So this is what I'm going to paint now, the Hamilton Industry Estate. So I'm going to erase the old incorrect zone, leaving the Hamilton Industry Estate, and now I'm going to paint that over the area. Now stupidly I'm trying to drag the farming zone in, but that will not work because that's for a standard zone. When you want to build industry, let people build areas. But of course here I want to create an industry, so I need to go and find the farming building. Now at the moment I don't have the cash, so I'm going to have to wait until I hit the next milestone. I think it's Big Town, so let's wait for that. Well, that didn't take too long. Big Town, here I am. I get a bonus of cash. I think I get about 50,000 whatevers. Here I now get the ability to have a new area, some new features. I get some new policies, the metro, the blimp, which I've never used, which I would like to use, the new IT cluster, some leisure specifications, alternate specializations, and you've got some new policies. Boost education, tax rates for lower density commercial areas, let's get leisure. Automated toll, which is really important. That is the one that I've been waiting for. That will improve my traffic flow hugely through the highway. Okay, I now have the cash. Let's go and place the first farm building to make this a farm zone. Now I've placed it, I have got some new assets. Small grain silo, a small animal pasture, a small crop field and a small fruit field. So let's go and place some of those in so I can start growing crops. Now you've placed your fields, you can choose what kind of crops appear in those fields. Now this is just for pure visual appeal as far as I can tell. It has no reflection on what crops are actually used. I think it is just a generic term. So once you have a crop, you can then move that to a silo or a warehouse that can get processed. From there, that processed material can always be placed in a warehouse, and from there you can take it to a manufacturing plant. Something else I wanted to do was, rather than having some of the services sort of in town, I thought I'd just pop them off to one side. So they're going to come from a little spur off this roundabout, and they're going to go to their own specific zone. So things like the police, fire, recycling, waste will go in its own little area. I'm hoping this will kind of improve the coverage of said services, and also reduce the noise pollution that those services create, so the residents are not affected by the noise. If you've enjoyed this video, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of new videos that I release, and also please do like the videos and share when possible. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.